Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your man, the Grass Ninja. Welcome to the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit the bell, do all the stuff. In today's video, this is going to be an open discussion. It's not a theory or anything. I'm actually going to outreach to the community. Hit me up in the comment section down below, because I need to understand how you guys are perceiving this information as well. There's a huge problem that I've been seeing. It's not really a huge problem, but I need this addressed at some point before Boruto concludes. Boruto chapter 81 is supposed to resume in the summer, so hopefully they flesh this out sooner than later. But how do transplants work in Boruto? Because I understand how they work in Naruto, but this is a whole different story. This is years later, and science has evolved just that much more. So how do transplants actually work in Boruto? Because in Naruto, we have a bunch of people who's received organic transplants before, and we understand one of the reoccurring problems, or one of the workarounds, one of the obstacles that you have to address or overcome in Naruto when it came to these transplants was chakra depletion. So every single case of some sort of transplant had the obstacle of chakra depletion in OG Naruto. The first character we ever meet with an organic transplant was Kakashi. My dude had Obito's Sharingan, and he became famous for it. My dude was Kakashi of the Sharingan, but that wasn't even his eyeball. It was his friend, his comrade, Obito's Sharingan. And we understood when Kakashi used the Sharingan, there were certain drawbacks to it. Him not being a full Uchiha, or even being Uchiha in general, him not being Uchiha came with side effects from using the Sharingan. His body wasn't built to handle it, so it hit his stamina even harder. It also constantly drained his chakra because he couldn't deactivate it. That's why he has to wear the headband over his eye, so that way he's not constantly using the Sharingan. So yeah, there was a bunch of different drawbacks that came to this version of the transplant. We also have a bunch of other ones, right? I want to keep these simple, so I'm not going to go into everything with Kakashi, but even Madara had to find a perfect host, or the right person, to take his Rinnegan. Madara awoke his Rinnegan in his old age while connected, or I guess in his old age, and then connected himself to the Ghetto Mazo, or the Ghetto statue, right? Taking both Rinnegan, he needed to find someone with enough chakra reserves to handle its power. We learned that Obito wasn't even strong enough to handle 2 Rinnegan. My dude in the war arc was like, yeah, I might be fitted with like half of a Zetsu body that gives me wood style and Hashirama cells, but even with all that, even though I can spam Kamui all day, I can't handle the power of 2 Rinnegan, right? 2 of Madara's eyes? Nah, bro, not happening. So the fact that Nagato, a pure-blooded Uzumaki, was the only person that had enough chakra reserves to even handle Madara's power is insane. And I wouldn't even say he handled it well. My man couldn't even use jutsus without freaking out or spazzing or almost dying. So yeah, even Madara was like, yeah, there's gonna be some stuff I have to deal with when it comes to transplanting my eyes, okay? Someone else to carry my Rinnegan, and there's a lot of obstacles and a lot of extra legwork I'm gonna have to do to make it happen. Now, we also have things like Hashirama cells, bro. It's quite literally a meme in the community at this point. Hashirama's grave must have been robbed by, I don't know, everybody, bro, because Hashirama cells is one of the most picked apart things throughout the series, so everyone's got it. It gives you wood style, gives you a fortified regeneration and everything, bolsters your chakra, but the drawback with Hashirama cells is that if you don't keep your chakra reserves in check, if you don't keep your chakra level in check, it'll consume you. It'll literally turn you into a tree. We saw Danzo's arm. He literally got a whole arm transplanted, bro, and that arm had Sharingan transplants in it. So transplantation ain't nothing new. But like, even Danzo, when his chakra levels hit a certain level, once they dropped low enough, the arm started to take over, turned into a whole tree. My man had to detach the arm. He had to cut off his whole arm just to not become a tree. So yeah, chakra levels, your chakra depletion, it's such a drawback when it comes to these transplants, and it's an overlapping theme, okay? So when it comes to Boruto, the fact that we have Ada, Damon, and Code who've received Shibai Otsutsuki transplants, and they're just able to cast Shinjutsu without any kind of shinobi training or chakra control. I get that Shinjutsu is a different thing. I've done the Shinjutsu explained video. You can check it out. You don't need to weave hand signs or master chakra control. It's a divine ability that you gain access to when you eat the chakra fruit. And since Shibai awoke those abilities, and then Amado, who was granted access to this guy's corpse, basically took parts of his flesh and transplanted them through several cyborgs, they awoke similar Shinjutsu, if not all of the same Shinjutsu we can suspect Shibai had. So when it comes to the transplants themselves, like, we can straight up tell Madara transplanted his eyes, Obito transplanted his eyes. It's more ambiguous with Hashirama, but same thing with Shibai. Like, what parts of Shibai were transplanted? Are we moving away from Hashirama cells? Now we got Shibai cells, bro? Or is it like Ida's eyes were removed and replaced with Shibai's, and she gained access to Senreigan? Because if that's the case, bro, that means she also has a dormant Dharma, Byakugan, whatever. If she has Shibai's eyes, bro, someone's going to take her eyes, bro. But anyway, what parts of Shibai were transplanted, I feel like is important and eventually needs to get addressed. And the main part of the video is like, how are they powering up the Shinjutsu? We know Shinjutsu costs chakra because Kawaki couldn't maintain his Sukuna Hakona forever. He tried to flee the village after fighting and casting Daikokuten and assaulting everything. Bro, after Kawaki did all that crap, he was trying to flee the village, and he ran low on chakra to the point where he couldn't maintain Sukuna Hakona. That's how Ada found him, and she saved him, casting Omnipotence, okay? Now, we understand Omnipotence is Ada's Shinjutsu, Damon has his Reflection Shinjutsu, and Code has the Claw Marks. All received these Shinjutsu due to transplants Amado gave them from Shibai's flesh, okay? We know that taking someone else's Kekkei Genkai and putting it into you, or transplanting their abilities into you, usually has a drawback of like what happens when your chakra hits a certain level, or is it constantly draining your chakra. Now, Shinjutsu is supposed to be the hack where it's like they don't have to worry about chakra control, but how many times can they cast it? How much chakra is actually consumed from using Omnipotence or Reflection or Claw Marks, right? Now, when we watched Ida use Omnipotence, it did look like she was stunned or had to recollect herself after using it and stuff. She's not a combatant, she's not trained in chakra control or ninjutsu, so she wouldn't even probably be familiar with how her chakra levels are feeling or whatever, but even she had to get a little bit of a bounce back, which to me points a sign that, like, yeah, there is chakra depletion that they're gonna run into, which might be the weakness for Damon and Code, and I guess Ida as well. Force them to use their Shinjutsu to the point where they can't anymore. Now, if it is a chakra reserves thing where it's like, yeah, we can take advantage of their Shinjutsu and damage their chakra reserves, like, how many times do you think Damon can actually cast his Reflection Shinjutsu? Because, like, what insane chakra reserves would he be able to have to just reflect? Like, if Naruto did, look, here's the thing. The way people fight in Boruto, it's all about, like, you know, the move behind the move. Ninjas have to see through deception. So, like, the first time you see Boruto or someone pop up, it might not actually be them. It could just be a shadow clone. Now, what would happen if, say, someone like Naruto or Boruto pulled up just 5, 10 shadow clones, but all you're doing is seeing them one after the other? Now, it depends on how sophisticated you want to think Reflection is, because if a shadow clone launches an attack, does the shadow clone receive the reflected intent, or does the original? I wouldn't know. But I'm saying, if you could technically line up 100 fodder shinobi, right? One after another just throws a kunai at Damon, forcing him to reflect the attack. How many attacks could he reflect, bro, before his chakra levels took a hit? And the other thing, if it's not about their chakra reserves, right? If Amado's science is just that goated to the point where he's done something to work around that hack. He understands that there's going to be obstacles, and there's going to be extra legwork you got to do when you're dealing with transplanting people's Kekkei Genkai. Even Madara knew about it, right? Even Kabuto figured it out low-key. He's the king of transplants. My man amalgamated everybody in Orochimaru's gang into himself, and that's insane because that means he gets Karin's abilities and Jugo's abilities, and Orochimaru basically owns Hashirama cells. So with those three things, it kind of doesn't matter what you put in after that, because you'll have the chakra and the support to kind of carry you, bro. Infinite Sage Mode, Hashirama cells working with the Uzumaki chakra reserves. It's insane. So yeah, Kabuto might have found a hack, and if Amado has discovered that science, and he can kind of create a cocktail to be like, these guys don't need to worry about their chakra reserves, because they've just got like passively refilling nature energy or something like that. I don't know what it might be. Or it could be the power cores that we saw back in the Boro arc, right? We did learn the weakness to Boro was taking out his core. His regeneration was so overpowered and so broken that Kawaki was like, yeah, there's no way he doesn't have like a huge oversized core somewhere within him. Like all of the Kara Inners have a core that power their nanotech devices and all of their scientific augmentations that Amado's installed. So if the Otsutsuki organic transplants are also being powered by this same power core, that might be the weakness that we have to exploit, right? If you can't exploit their chakra reserves, you're going to have to figure out how to target that core. Now, if you have Byakugan, maybe the Sharingan, alright? Because Boro's core was moving around, and that's how Sarada picked it apart, right? She was like, I can see his muscles twitching, and it's all weird. Byakugan, Sharingan, Boruto's Jogan might be able to access that little critical hotspot that you need to hit. All of those could be avenues they take to targeting these cyborgs as well. But I think it's interesting that Kishimoto decided to say Shibai Otsutsuki's flesh was transplanted into these guys, and that's how they've gained access to the Shinjutsu. Because then that puts into question, what kind of insane chakra reserves do Ida and Damon have, or Code? Like, what clans are they from? Like, why are they so powerful? And if they're not going to explain it through, like, oh, they have natural chakra reserves, and it was all through science, what did Amado do? What is powering them up? What is powering their Shinjutsu? What's giving them access to the amounts of chakra needed to cast something like Omnipotence on a multi-dimensional plane, bro? Anyway, I've been your man's the Grass Ninja. Hit me in the comment section with this one, because this isn't a theory or anything. This is a discussion. I'm really curious to hear what you guys think is going to be the answer, or how are they going to approach this when it comes time to talk about how Amado actually went about the Otsutsuki transplants, right? Because we know in Naruto, organic transplants is as common as like the Zabuza arc, bro. That's how we learn Kakashi can use the Sharingan. And then Orochimaru straight up tells us, yeah, I don't want to just take a Sharingan and put him in my eyes, because I don't have the Uchiha body. I want the full body, so that way I don't have any drawbacks from transplanting the Dojutsu, okay? Then we have people in Boruto who have the Senrigan that was somehow transplanted from Shibai. I don't know what's going on with Ida's eyes. Are those Shibai's eyes, or did her eyes just transform into Senrigan? Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comment section down below. I've been your man's the Grass Ninja. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Have a nice day. Peace.